Welcome back, MTG Joe here. We're here for the weekly metagame breakdown for the standard best of one format. We're going to take a look at what folks are playing and locking in Mythic with. Today's the last day of the August season. The ladder will reset, so a lot of people are pushing for a top finish. Notably, if those unfamiliar, if you finish top 250, you get an auto invite to the next month's qualifier weekend. If you finish top 1200, you get 20 play-in points used for the play-in weekend. So folks are looking to try to solidify that. So we're going to take a look and see what decks are doing the best in Mythic rank standard best of one. We're getting the data from UntapGG, what you see on the screen, companion tool that runs alongside Arena's client. You can track win rates, both your own, see other users' stuff. Link for Untap is in the video description. And then all the deck lists will be in there as well, timestamp, so you can copy paste from your heart's content. While you're there, we are like 1,100 subs away from 20,000. So what I need you to do is call up your friends, family, cousins, nieces, nephews. Tell them to subscribe to MTG Joe. It's free, easy, helps out the channel. We're trying to hit 20,000 by the end of the summer. So greatly appreciated if you can. But let's jump into it. Mythic rank, popularity of the day, Jeskai Artifacts. Jeskai Synthesizer is the most played deck at about 12%. We have Boros Burn at 8, almost 9%. Mono White Lifegain at 7. The Landfall deck's at about 7. Mono Red Aggro 6. The Demons deck at about 5. We're not going to feature Demons list because it's just not popping up under over 55% right now. We have Midrange at 5.2 Dimir, and then Azorius Control at 4. So Battle Criers fall into like 52%. I'm going to show a mill deck because people keep asking for it, but the mill decks, both the Dimir and Esper, aren't doing too well. The Kona decks are at like 50% win rate as well. So we're going to largely ignore those decks here. Usually I do a 55% cap to kind of see where like the decks are actually kind of playing to. So kind of ignoring the early bit of the month where we did see artifacts at like 31%, kind of an outlier. There's a point where Azorius Control was 48% meta. But we're seeing kind of normalized. The Artifacts deck has been holding pretty strong towards the top in terms of play volume. Now, looking at the last week of data, 110,000 games played in Mythic rank. The highest win rate deck is Boros Burn at 66%. So this is a prowessy kind of mono red splash white aggressive deck. So you have your usual kind of burst lightning. This one's playing burst and shock. You have some Boros charms, lightning helix in here. With the white, you also have access to Sheltered by Ghosts. So just in the kind of creature mirrors helps you race, giving you another piece of removal with life gain as well. Cool interaction is if you have it on Hired Claw, the ping that Hired Claw does, it's damage, so you gain life from it. You're also playing Grease Wrench Goblin as another aggressive 1-drop, 1 mana, 2 power. That can help you kind of late game filter through some cards. Nemesis, Slick Shot, and Ember Heart. So just more prowessy themed. You're not doing Manifold Mouse. You're not like double striking kind of thing. I regret to inform you folks that Vivi has found its way into the best of one format. People always ask, why does Vivi not see as much play? Generally, like mid-rangey-esque decks do a bit better in best of 3. Vivi is dominating at the Spotlight series this weekend. So maybe there's a ban coming, hopefully sooner, emergency off cycle. But Vivi, Cauldron. So for the best of one gamers who haven't run into this as much, if you put a Vivi underneath an Agatha Soul Cauldron, any creature you control that has a counter on it is able to create mana blue and red based on its power. So it lets you chain through the deck and just play a whole bunch of spells. What you're trying to do from there is with Prosthetic Memory, you put counters on your creature equal to the number of cards you've drawn per turn. You have a bunch of looting effects, Fear of Missing Out, Tersa, Steamcore Scholar, Winter Night Stories. So it generates a whole bunch of mana. If you're attacking multiple turns with Fear of Missing Out, you get the Prof's trigger each combat step, which is very strong. You have Draconautics Engineer. So with this card here, if you put this under Cauldron, each of your creatures get the exhaust ability. So for 4 mana, they can make a dragon and then can haste it out as well. So it's playing a little bit more interaction, which is reasonable for the best of one meta, Flood Maws and Torches along with the Braids. You'll see in the best of 3 versions, they'll play Quantum Riddler, usually 2 in the main and 1 to 2 in the side. Best of threes, the versions are dropping some early interaction like Torch the Tower to be more interactive for the mirror. So that's one thing to kind of consider there. Dimir Midrange, 63%, 62%. So your bread and butter Kaido Enduring Curiosity deck. Play a bunch of cheap evasive creatures, Sea Souls, Spyglass Sirens, Deep Cavern Bats in here. Some of the lists are playing Sunset Saboteur, the 2 mana 4/1 Ward Vigilance dude. And then like Fabloom Tricks, other ways to kind of get card draw or cheat in Kaido. And then just a whole bunch of interaction. Tragic Trajectory, Shoot the Sheriff, Nowhere to Run, Bitter Triumph, always to interact with your opponent. This one's playing Summit Negates as well as Phantom Interference. Moving on, Mono White Lifegain. So this one's playing a little bit bigger. We see Raise the Past in here as well as Elspeth, which is a little unusual. You don't see these two cards in these decks that often. Exemplar of Light's really nice card advantage engine, playing full Halia, which I think is correct. This card's very good in the shell, just giving you extra card draw. You have like the Pride Mates, Ajani, and Essence Chandler, which grow every time you gain life. This version is skimping on the number of Sheltered by Ghosts. The deck was already light in terms of interaction. This further kind of limits. I do think playing the full 4, when I was playing it, I was actually considering going up to adding 2 more pieces of removal to the deck, because in the mirrors particularly, like your removal is like semi-conditional, right? They can interact with your Sheltered, and a lot of times it was whoever kind of scaled bigger. But you gain life, you make big creatures. The Ley Line, if it's in your opener, I think the Ley Line, you don't necessarily need it. You could just play more interaction, but makes your stuff a little bit bigger and gains you an extra life. Mono Red Aggro. So there's the Mono Red deck, 59%, kind of slick shot, very similar to Burn, but you're playing Get to Lava Runner, you're playing Bolt Wave in here, Lightning Strike instead of Helix, and Witchstalker Frenzies. Nothing like really revolutionary with this. We're just moving back away from like the Manifold Mouse package. There's fewer mice without Heartfire Hero, so it's just not as impactful. But just kind of burn your opponent out, super aggressive. There is a version in Best of 3 that's going around this weekend on the Spotlight series. I covered it in the metagame video that I put out yesterday if you want to see it. But it's like a pinger version. It's meant to kind of combat Vivi. You have the Adventure Izzet guy, the Red Serpent, as well as the red 2-drop. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they take a damage. So those ones there, Razorkin. So that's a different list if you want to take a look. Just check out the other video. It's posted there. Some are playing Osier. Some are playing like Sunspine Links in there. But that gives you another kind of look at the deck. I don't know if it's as good in Best of 1 just because it's a meta call to address Vivi with just some of the card selections. Some of the cards are worse into like just general aggro decks. Gruul Landfall, 58%. So this deck here is basically mono green Landfall, like the Tifa Mossborn Hydra deck, but with a red splash for World Souls Rage, just as some additional reach. You're playing Baby Chocobo that grows, Bristly Bill puts counters, makes things grows. Mossborn Hydra and Tifa both effectively double their power every time a land comes into play. Traveling Chocobo doubles up land ETBs, so then you get double the triggers. Lets you play lands off the top. You have all these kind of fetch lands that work with it, as well as Ice Till that helps you both draw, like get more lands from your graveyard, so it's like virtually drawing, as well as set up big World Souls Rages. All right, most played deck is in 6th place. Jeskai Artifacts in terms of win rate. So deck built around Simulacrum Synthesizer, cares about artifacts 3 CMC or more coming into play, makes you Karnstruck tokens, artifact creatures with power toughness equal to the number of artifacts you control. This deck is looking to just play a bunch of 3-drops. You could United Battlefront and get them into play. This cares about coming into play, not cast. Repurposing Bay lets you sack these utility artifacts at 2. Clayfire Bricks, Cryogen Relic, Spring-Loaded Saw Blades, so like card advantage, removal, and then you find your Simulacrum, then just a bunch more removal kind of tempo elements. The only red in the deck comes from the Fire Crystal, and this is something that you can then sack a 3-drop to go find as well, and then it hastes out all your tokens. Azorius Control, 57%, so Ultima does a really nice job against that Jeskai deck, just blowing up all their artifacts. But Sweepers, Day Judgment, and Split Up. Card advantage with Consult the Star Charts and Stock Up, and then just a bunch of interaction. Authority to slow down, gain you some life. Seam Rep as removal, Get Losses removal. 3 steps and No More Lies as counter spells. And then you're winning the game with Elspeth, Hornlock Whale, or Meringue River Regent. 2 Fountain Ports, or Restless Anchorage in the mana base. We got Mono Black Skeletons. So this one's just a shade under 55, but seemed cool, so I wanted to show it. So this deck here, you have Corpse of the Lost, which gives your skeletons +1 power and haste. It enters, it creates a skeleton token, and then if you descend it, a permanent was put into your graveyard, you can pay a life, and you get to bring it back to your hand to recast it. So Forsaken Miner is a skeleton, and then you're just playing like a kind of mono black aggro shell. Timeline Color comes back from the graveyard. You have Sunset Saboteur, just a nice evasive body. Stabs, Tragic Directories as removal. Strategic Betrayals removal. Then you have Duress for Hand Hate, Bandit's Talent to kind of strip your opponent's hand, along with Deep Cavern Bat mixed into there. I would probably play more Soulstone Sanctuaries over the Conduit Pylons. It's a skeleton as well for the Corpse of the Lost. And then lastly, Esper Mill. Like I said, they're not doing too well, but people keep asking about Mill. 51%. So Singularity Rupture says, destroy all creatures, mill half that player's library. You then cast River Churn Monument and Exhaust, and it takes out the other half of their library. You can also do it with Jador to mill half their library. And then it's just a Esper control shell. So authorities, some cheap interaction, card draw with Consult and Stock Up. Beza helps you stabilize, Day Judgment and Sweeper. Then you have Space Time Anomaly, which mills cards equal to your life total. To me, this, I think I would probably just skip on this, play another Singularity Rupture, probably like another cheap interaction, or just play like another Consult. The kind of core I think of this deck is just keep sweeping and then Monument to win the game. I think like something like this, because it's not consistently going to do the like 2-card combo, I think this is kind of an odd card in the deck, just because it's unlikely you're going to be gaining excessive life, and as a control deck you usually use your life as a resource, so having to keep that high will be a little bit difficult in that context. That's it for the week. Let me know what you've been playing. Lateral reset, and then we'll check out the early Mythic Risers, what people are playing, and get you ready for the September season. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have a great one, and like I said, make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so. We're trying to hit 20,000. Thanks for watching.